Sorry to disrupt your happy Halloween, but we have some frightening news to share. Extreme weather events such as heat waves, droughts, heavy precipitation, and hurricanes are increasing, likely due to anthropogenic impacts on climate change.
Climate change will have a lot of effects on hurricanes. Although it is not predicted that climate change will result in more hurricanes, there is evidence that it will make them more intense and more destructive. First, warmer sea surface temperatures means that there is more water vapor in the atmosphere. This additional water vapor will make deluges more intense, producing 5 to 10% more rainfall. This greatly increases the risk of flooding, especially since the bigger the storm is, the more additional moisture that will be swept in. Climate change isn't only affecting the surface water temperatures though, as deeper parts of the ocean are also warming. Because hurricanes get their energy from warm water and lose their intensity when cool water is mixed from the deeper part of the ocean, the deep water now has the ability to intensify the storm instead of weakening it. As for the effect of higher sea levels on hurricanes, current sea level rise has been up to 4 times faster than the global average along parts of the Atlantic coast. With rates changing at this pace, the sea level will increase by 26 inches by 2100, which will result in higher storm surges. To give reference on how much impact this will have, human-caused climate change added nearly 1 foot to the Hurricane Sandy storm surge, which exposed another 25 square miles and 40,000 people to flooding.
An increasingly drier and warmer climate inevitably increases the risks of associated weather events, such as wildfires and droughts. As the driest regions of the world are expected to get even drier due to climate change, droughts that impact these areas are expected to be more severe and more frequent than previously seen, placing unseen stress on these populations. Droughts are also expected to start impacting populations that do not have much experience with them, forcing regions to allocate more resources to drought alleviation and water storage. This is sure to impact agriculture, water stress, and human health. Warm, dry air and a spark are the 2 main ingredients for any forest fire to take hold and ravage a previously densely forested area within days. Wildfires are predicted to pose an even greater threat than they do today to the Earth's forests. The temperate and boreal forest regions of the northern and mid-latitudes are increasingly at risk of wildfires as the Earth's climate changes, drying the air and subsequently the forest itself. Fires in the U.S. raged across the country from Florida to Idaho, Montana, and Utah to most notably California. 2017 has proven to be the United States' costliest year in terms of firefighting, with an estimated $2 billion spent. Not only do wildfires pose a threat to the safety and integrity of a forest, but they also serve to increase the rate at which CO2 makes its way into our atmosphere. Wildfires turn forests from carbon sinks to carbon sources when they burn through a region, exacerbating an already risky climate situation.
Heavy precipitation occurs due to climate change. Warmer air as a result of climate change can contain more water vapor than cooler air, which leads to an increase in extreme precipitation. This map shows the change from 1958 to 2012 in the amount of precipitation falling in very heavy events, defined as the heaviest 1% of all daily events. As you can see, it has increased a lot. This heavy precipitation poses threats. One of them is flooding, which can result in damage to buildings, infrastructure, and the loss of crops. Flooding can also result in negative health impacts. A damp or flooded building can namely develop mold. This mold affects air quality that can increase health problems, like aggravation of asthma and coughing and wheezing due to mold exposure. Besides, human productivity will go down as air quality decreases. Another threat is the increased risk of landslides. Extreme precipitation can raise the water table, and when that happens, it saturates the ground, which results in slopes losing their stability that causes a landslide. This can threaten human life.
Climate change will also likely lead to a rise in heat waves and extreme hot temperatures. As carbon emissions continue to grow in the next few decades, most of the country could see 20 to 30 more days annually with maximum temperatures above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, with the southeast being hit worst. For one, high temperatures at night can negatively impact livestock and agriculture, as some crops require cooler temperatures at night. This is primarily why many crops will have reductions in arable land. Rural residents will be hurt most by heat stress on crops because of the reliance on crops for food and sustenance. Heat stress for livestock will rise as animals cannot cool off at night, leading to decreased production, slower growth rates, and conception rates. Higher summer temperatures will also increase energy demands during the summer, which could possibly lead to energy availability issues in the future as a result of heat waves. Moreover, heat stress illness can occur as a result of heat waves. Heat can raise the body's core temperature. The effects include heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke, as shown in this image.
As we conclude this video, we encourage you to reflect on how you personally have impacted our changing climate system.
While this may not affect U.S. citizens or those in developed countries as much, those of underprivileged backgrounds or those in third world countries will feel these impacts the most.
Going forward, it is important to remember the disproportionate impacts of climate change that will be felt by underprivileged areas that have contributed very little to this issue. Do what you can to prevent climate change.